Holy cow. What's a good-looking guy like you doing in a place like this, Lavelle Neal III?
Well, I was guilted into coming here after your attack on me yesterday when I was standing in the middle of the Twins clubhouse.
It was a public attack.
Yeah.
Because it was on the radio. It wasn't an attack. It was more of a guilt trip. And, you and I, we're not from here, but we've lived here close to, if not the majority of half our lives. So we've become good with being passive-aggressive. And that's what I did yesterday. And lo and behold, Nordo made a play, and here you are.
Well, I was trying to huddle up with Dustin because I'm working on a project. I need access to people. And here he is. He's wandering around in circles, talking on the phone. Now it's like, that's his. I'm talking to PA on KFAN.
It was a cold call.
Yeah, I know you do that with him. I said, he's talking. I said, you're talking to PA, aren't you? Yeah. Well, you want to talk to him? That's when I said, no, he doesn't like me anymore.
No, I love you. You're right. I don't like you. I love you. And in fact, so much that you said something yesterday that, I mean, as your professional well-being goes, why so many meetings these days for the columnists at the Star Tribune? Holy cow.
No, it's just, changes, man. We got a new boss, and she likes to do things a certain way. And
you got a new boss.
Yeah, so...
what's her name?
Natalie Pierre.
Natalie? Hey, Pierre. Natalie, welcome to the Covenant. We got Lavelle Neal III in here. 9 to noon is the place you'll find is the very best in the history of promotion to promote said columns.
Yeah.
So when it's raise time for Wobble, take that 3 and put a 0 behind it.
Yeah, so there's just stuff going on, and plus there's also an initiative to get everybody back in the office again. They want us to work 4 days a week in the office.
What?
Yeah.
We're 6 years removed from that L.
I know. But there's still companies still just announcing that stuff. And
you walk around here today?
We got comfortable proving that we could produce a newspaper from our bedrooms and our dens and our garages, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of time to kind of reel everybody back in, and collaboration is never a bad thing.
It is interesting to see many companies, company my wife works at, many just corporate environments have had to kind of have those struggles to kind of claw people back, and how quickly we adapted in the COVID era to working from home, working remotely.
Yep.
There have been many people that have benefited from that, but still, you mentioned in particular, when you have physical space, it's like, well, either we're going to start selling buildings here, or we got to get some people back to work, and maybe there are some advantages of in-person collaboration.
Yeah, exactly. We've done some remodeling and moved some stuff around. Sports department's in a different area. We're down to 2 floors instead of 3.
Still in Minneapolis,
you're shrinking too here, I see.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
So,
we're the great shrinking radio station, at least from a building related standpoint. That's about it. KFAN's holding its own.
Freaking maze to walk around here now. All the twisted turns and the doggone
separate card keys.
The key, app.
That was all because of me in late January.
The app works through one door, but not the second one. So I'm like, why is it not working through this one? And I'm like, I'm going to go back in through the bathroom, come out the other side.
The guy in the lobby with the AK whatever. Jim Souhan retired.
Yeah.
Wonderful writer and really good at turning a phrase. Now, I mean, I worked in the newspaper business for the Pasadena Star News, San Gabriel Valley Tribune, and was a stringer for USA Today from 89 to 93. So that doesn't make me an elite Mike Lupica mind. However, working on the copy desk with the pica poles and the agate page and everything, and the trashers where you used to have to send in stories with couplers on phones, I'm OG when it comes to
the couplers, God.
What you do. And so I have a high level of respect for the way, A, people turn phrases, but B, the spoken word and the written word. Jim, very, very good, man. Just a very, very good writer. He has retired. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Jim has, carved out legendary status in this town. He's got some gifts that a lot of writers don't have. His ability to think quickly and to write just as quick.
Yeah.
What would take me or someone else like an hour and a half or 2 hours to pound out, he would be done in like 40 minutes.
Really?
He just has that gift about him. He does turn phrases. He does have a strong command in the language. And I learned a lot just from watching him. He was a former ball writer. I first met him when I was covering the Kansas City Royals, and he was on the Twins beat. I ended up replacing him on the Twins beat. So just watching and listening to Jim through the years, made me a better reporter, maybe a better journalist.
Sweet.
made me a better beat writer in terms of building relationships in the clubhouse and watching the little things that go on outside the TV cameras, the interactions between innings and things like that. We could pick up tells as to what's going on between like coaches and players and things like that. You know,
that's dope.
Yeah, so I learned a lot just watching Jim. And you know, best times of my career were when I was sitting in the press box when I got Jim Suham on my right, Patrick Royce on my left, and we're all sitting there just, you know, talking trash about baseball, you know, for 9 innings.
Yeah.
It's like some of the funnest times of my career. So I also have to put a little bit of Dark Star in there too. One of the funniest moments ever in the press box. Dark Star was on my left, and
wait,
Jim
he
was on my
left
right.
the Champions Club?
Oh no, he used to sit in the press box often.
Oh, Dark would sit in the Champions Club all the time. Also,
no, we're talking
Dave
Metrodome.
St. Peter, though.
This is a Metrodome moment, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
and yeah, hearing those guys chop it up.
Yeah.
And FIFA, Fairness and Fan Act, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and he's a former coworker of yours. Dan Barrero.
Thank you.
He was a fantastic columnist. Dan, I mean, his radio show's dynamite and has done extremely well for 3 decades plus. Hartman and Barrero, Chad and Barrero, or just by himself. But as a columnist, he was a very, very good writer.
Yeah, Barrero was on the staff when I got here, but when I was researching the Twins history book I wrote a few years ago, I was reading a lot of stuff, you know, in the 80s and 90s about the team, and read a lot of Barrero stuff, you know, and that man was an excellent writer, very critical thinker, and just have a lot of gifts about him.
Yeah.
I wish he was writing a little bit more today. I think that would be a gift to the community that they would love to have. But yeah, you're right. Barrero was the man, and he is still the man with his bumper to bumper radio show.
So like all time, you're Wobble, you're Lavelle the third, south side of Chicago, about ready to join the Fighting Illini. You're going to journalism school. You want to be a writer, or maybe you didn't. Maybe that's how it ended up working. So like from when you first became bit with the columnist gene, or reading those who write, who are some of your all-time favorite columnists?
Well, going back to Chicago days, I didn't read him religiously, but I knew that he was the man.
Can I guess?
And I would read a few things every now and then he would write. Yeah, go for it.
Royko?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mike Royko.
Yeah, he's OG.
Yeah, he had a gift of taking a statement that a politician would say and write it to the point where the politician meant exactly the opposite thing of what he said or she said.
Welcome to 2026.
But the Sun-Times and the Tribune had great sports columnists. Mike Downey was the guy I read frequently. Terry Boers was another legend.
What about my man who used to write The Air and Space in the back of Sports Illustrated? Not Steve Rushin. Before him. Oh, what was his name?
I can see his face.
Yes, dark hair. He used to write in Chicago?
Not Rick Tallender.
Rick Tallender. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, I grew up in Chicago. There was a remember the sports show here?
Oh, with the cigars?
Yeah. There used to be one called the Sports Writers on TV in Chicago area. And it was Bill Gleason, Bill Joust, Tellender joined lately. Joe Musso was the AP writer, and Bennett. I can't remember Bennett's first name.
You grew up watching that, right?
Yeah, I watch it every weekend. And I fell in love with sports, just listening to these guys talk, and the cigars are going in the background. You know, and I came here, all of a sudden there's a Sunday show called a sports show. Same dark background with a dark star. Yeah. You know, so
Mike Max, Dark Star, Patrick Royce,
and Sid.
And then like you were on it a lot.
Yep.
There were some others that were on, but not as much as you.
My experience doing the sports show was I wish we had kept rolling during the commercials so people could see the crap that Sid was pulling. It was unbelievable. I got assaulted a couple times in between breaks simply because I said something negative about the Wolves. He's like, I can't say anything bad about the Wolves. It just would drive him off the wall. But back to the Chicago thing. The other thing that really turned me on, because I was a baseball fan, but baseball writers sometimes had Joe Goddard and Dave Van Dyke. And they used to do this bit. It was awesome. One would cover the White Sox, and the other one would cover the Cubs. And then they would get to midseason, they would switch beats.
Wow.
And they would write letters to each other. You know, dear Dave, here's the crap you're about to experience on
in
the White
the
Sox
newspaper.
Yeah. Dear Joe, here's a crap you're about to experience in the Cubs beat.
Wow.
Yeah, it was excellent.
So so it's Ron Karkovice or Jerome Walton. So they're flipping beats.
Now, this is Jody Davis and
Greg Lazinski?
Oh, no, pre-Greg Lazinski. We're talking like
Thad Bosley.
Buddy Bradford. Those guys.
So would they cover the team for the second half of the year?
Yeah, they would switch beats.
Okay, so, but, from a background attaining standpoint, sources, relationships, like how does that work? I mean, you work half the year to establish a private working relationship born of trust with Mark Grace, and now all of a sudden you got to flip over and get the same thing from Ron Karkovice.
Yeah, but here's the bit though: you do that for a couple of years, now you got sources on both teams.
Oh wow, that's a good point. Box. Yeah, now you're ruling the roost, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so. What about Mike Lupica or Scott Ostler or Jim Murray?
Ostler was a great long-form writer. Lupica was the man. I mean,
define long-form writer.
Well, just a guy who write 1,500, 2,000-word missives,
in the newspaper.
Yeah.
And they gave him the space in the LA Times.
And magazines, yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Well, LA Times had Ross Newhan, and one guy I never met.
Ross Newhan covered the Dodgers.
Yes,
yeah.
and ages a little bit, too.
Yeah.
The one guy I never met, but I just, hearing the stories, would have loved to have met him, was Jim Murray. Jim Murray. Who was a legend out there.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I met him in the Santa Anita press box when I was covering horse racing for the Pasadena Star News and was a stringer for USA Today for the big races, the Santa Anita Handicap, Santa Anita Derby. It's when I started, quote, media, end quote type career. And Jim Murray, he wasn't very talkative at all. Very, very stoic. He was OG. I mean,
yeah,
he rolled into that thing and
big thick glasses.
Yes, big thick glasses. Yep. Do you happen to remember the name Alan Malamud?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he was a columnist for the Herald Examiner, and he was terrific too. And those guys would go back and forth occasionally with some of these old school stories. It was elite.
Well, you got so many talk shows now, but just that era when you had just a few, those really resonated with me, and I remembered a lot of things like. When ESPN would have Mitch Albom, Mike Lupica, Bill Roten.
The sports reporters.
The sports reporters.
That's what I watched as a kid. Yeah. Like John Saunders was on there a ton. Yeah. That's how I knew Lupica. I never really knew any of his written pieces, but I loved watching him on TV.
Who was the white-haired guy who hosted it?
Wasn't it Dick Schaap or Schaap?
Thank you, Dick Schaap. Yeah, exactly. Jeremy's dad.
I think Bob Ryan was on there a couple times, too.
Yeah. So. And then with the different ESPN show, Woody Hayes. Woody Page. Yep. Thank you. Was a columnist who had that little chalkboard above him. But look at Courtney Cronin now, who covers the Bears for ESPN. I mean, she's blowing up on ESPN TV with First Take and working with Stephen A. Smith and Kendrick Perkins and stuff like that. So there are different ways to skin the proverbial cat. Know what I mean?
Yeah, Courtney's done she's had a great career after leaving here. She got in that ESPN Jetstream, man, and things took off for her. That's great to see.
Okay, lastly here on this, what led you to want to become a newspaper writer when growing up in Chicago or maybe attending Illinois?
Because I like baseball and I wanted to cover baseball.
Yeah.
I grew up.
So you loved baseball more than basketball, even though you lived in Chicago with Michael Jordan?
Yeah, well, we're talking in the 70s, like 1974, when the White Sox had Jim Cott. That's when I fell in love with the game. They had Dick Allen. Dick Allen wore the same pair of glasses my father did, and he had these huge forearms.
Wow.
And he swung a 40-ounce bat.
So you were in Chicago when was it Comiskey Park?
Yeah.
Comiskey Park. They had a doubleheader. And
the Tigers,
they blew up Disco Records.
Disco Demolition.
Demolition.
Yeah.
They couldn't play the second game.
Correct.
Because of the damage that was done to the outfield and the wall and stuff like that.
Plus, people stormed the field to grab records and stuff. And it was a weird night because
I'm going to go down there and get my Bee Gees album.
It was a huge anti-disco crowd. There were punk rockers in the crowd running around on the field and stuff.
Wow.
So they had to get them off the field. And then Sparky Anderson's out here. Look at this. Look at this. This turf is ripped here. Look at this hole here. Look at this divot here.
Man.
And so they couldn't play the second half of the game. So Mike Veck still has great stories about hatching that promotion in the aftermath.
Okay, copyright the late Dark Star, may God rest his soul.
Down memory lane we go.
So you were in Chicago when the Chicago White Sox experimented playing games in short pants.
Yeah, because when I first started watching the White Sox, the Wilbur Chuck Tanner was the manager. Bill Melton was at third. DeGale was at first. George Orta was at second.
Yeah.
Bucky Dent was at third.
Okay, hold
Bart
on.
Johnson was in the short.
Wilbur Wood was portly. Okay,
Yeah.
you can't. Wilbur Wood, he threw a knuckleball, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he had a bunch of junk. His fastball might have topped out at 86, 87.
Right.
Had a long career, ended up being Chicago sports immortality. With that physical stature he had, zero chance anybody gives him a chance this day and age.
And so
Those shorts look ridiculous. I had no idea that they look awful.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happened.
Yeah, well, that's when Bill Veeck bought the team.
That's awesome.
And his wife, I want to say her name is Mary Frances Veeck.
Okay.
Designed those hideous black and white uniforms with the big floppy collars.
Natalie loves
they
this
look
segment.
like a 1930s railroad worker or something, And so then on weekends and selected days, they wear shorts, So there's Ralph Garr leading off wearing shorts.
Right.
It was like the most hilarious thing ever,
But didn't it tear them up when they slid?
They would wear their socks up as high as possible.
Oh.
Yeah, they went with the high socks.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
August 8th, 1976.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long did it last?
Just a few years because,
Okay.
76 and 77 was when they had Richie Zisk and Oscar Gamble.
Yeah.
And they actually made a run to the pennant, at the pennant. I don't know if they won that year. And then by 78, 79, I think it petered out. So,
Oscar Gamble.
yeah.
Greater, well-coiffed afro.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar Gamble or Darnell Hillman, the basketball player. Remember? Eddie Murray, too, coming out of his helmet. First base for Baltimore.
I would give the slight edge to Oscar
Gamble.
Hillman's was resplendent, but you're playing basketball, so it's not going to stay.
Yeah.
And even if you put a cap on, Oscar's Afro puffs were sticking out under the front of the hat.
Yeah.
So he looked like the boss.
You remember here in 2004 when the Vikings were making a playoff push and Kelly Campbell, the wide receiver, came because Randy Moss, Nate Burleson, Jermaine Wiggins, Corey Chavis, Kelly Campbell, maybe Kenny Mixon. I mean, like Lance Johnstone, about 8 of them. Mm-hmm. They started not cutting their hair around Halloween.
Really?
Well, yeah. So those things, I mean, the afros became super, super long. Kelly Campbell, when he was interviewed, he dubbed that group as the receiving part, Moss, Burleson, Wiggins, and Kelly Campbell as afros, America's finest receivers on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Brilliant.
That's cute. Mm-hmm. That's really cute.
Fall down, Chicago Bear. All righty. Okay. Who did you ever meet Harry Carey?
No.
Who was the White Sox? Like, who is White Sox Vox immortality?
Well, when I first started watching the White Sox, once again in the early 70s, Don Elston was the television guy. So that's the one. That's the person I resonated with the most. Mm-hmm. And then it was Carey. And
Harry Carey did the White Sox?
He did White Sox and Cubs.
What?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, go look it up.
Well, how do you do that? Say the White Sox are in Anaheim.
He was with the White Sox for a few years, then moved over to the Cubs.
Was that No, that couldn't have been controversial.
Yeah, it was Harry Carey and Jimmy Pearsall. That's when Tony Russo wanted to. Now I'm getting my announcements mixed up because Tony Russo wanted to kill Jimmy Pearsall because he called the White Sox players' wives horny broads on air, and Tony wanted to kill Jimmy.
What did you? No, don't say it again. It's Friday.
He did. Well, he truly happened.
I know, we've got the weekend ahead of us.
Yeah,
don't want to deal
Carey,
with that again.
Carey was with the Sox in 1971.
They went to the Cubs.
He was replaced by Don Drysdale.
Wow.
In 1981, joined the Cubs in 82.
That was Don Drysdale and Tom Patrick. And then
the former Royal.
Yeah. And so then Drysdale stopped, left the booth, and then Ken Hawk Harrelson joined, and history was made.
What am I talking about? He's the most immortal of all White Sox Voxes.
They were nicknamed Hawk and Wimpy.
And then Steve Stone became his analyst.
Yeah, I remember Stone, too.
Yeah.
I've met Steve Stone. Yep.
Okay.
Hawk, of course I know Hawk through the years.
How old were you? So let me see. I'm 60. What are you, 58?
I turned 61 in September.
Okay, so you were about 18, 19, 20 with the 85 Bears when they won the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I remember we had a Super Bowl party at the apartment I was living in Champaign, Illinois, my sophomore year at University of Illinois, and there was a food fight in the living room during the second half.
Okay, now Harry Carey leaving the St. Louis Cardinals, where he would drink because Anheuser-Busch obviously was a major sponsor of that team. He might have been drinking Budweisers while calling games. He was kind of...
I think maybe?
Okay, he was infamous for that. When you say ba-da-ba-da-da-da-da-ba-da-da-da.
He's danced with a few Clydesdales.
But see, he went from the St. Louis Cardinals to the Chicago Cubs. That was baseball blasphemy back when he did that.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember for the 85 Bears who their radio vox was the year they won the Super Bowl?
Joe McConnell?
No.
And there is your dagger!
Yeah, my guy.
Wayne Larrivee.
Wayne Larrivee.
And then Larrivee, you talk about baseball blasphemy. I mean, this is from the Gridiron Gospel. This is a no-no. He leaves the Bears and goes to the Green Bay Packers.
So did Joe McConnell.
He did?
Yeah, we had 2 Bears announcers that are going through the years to the Packers.
Why? Land of milk and honey.
I don't know why.
That's great.
I mean, Stephen Michael played for the Packers. Jim McMahon played for the Packers. I mean,
yeah,
it's happened.
Yeah.
I actually had a bet in Vegas during the Super Bowl that Jim McMahon would take a snap in the Super Bowl because I thought the Packers were going to win and they'd be up comfortably so he'd get a snap. No, Brett Favre had the hog all the time, all the snaps.
That's the best.
And ruined my parlay.
Okay, so truly, how controversial was it in '85 with still what I think is the greatest defense in the history of the NFL, the '85 Bears? Buddy Ryan orchestrated it as the defensive coordinator, and they played what was known as a 46. Flores, 3-4 with hybrids, has 46 concepts to it with the safeties and the linebackers and covering up tight ends and things like that. So it was born of unpredictability. But when I say a 46 defense, almost every snap there were 10 guys close to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And then Dave Duerson and Fensick and Plank, they would retreat to wherever they needed to go. It was brilliant. Nobody could get around it except for Dan Marino on a Monday Night Football game when he spread out Duper and Clayton and some others 5 wide, and that was the only loss they took during the year.
Yeah, there's a couple of deflected balls that landed in their hands too on the way there.
I remember who you beat in the NFC title game? Because I lived in Los Angeles at this time. You beat the Rams. You remember their bunk quarterback? Dieter Brock.
Oh, yeah, Dieter Brock.
Bro, how did Dieter Brock... Well, he had Eric Dickerson, and they had a nice defensive line. I think Jerry Gray, former...
Who was injured? Somebody would be injured for Dieter Brock to be the quarterback, right?
Not Ferragamo. That's past him. I think they...
We'll take a peek.
Wasn't Pat Hayden?
No. Wasn't Jim Everett, maybe?
Jim Everett.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But nevertheless, in the... so how controversial, truly, Lavelle, was it when the Bears beat Steve Grogan and the Patriots in the Super Bowl? Sam Bam Cunningham. I mean, they killed him. But after the game, players are carrying Mike Ditka off the field. Well, over there, we got Richard Dent and Wilbur Marshall and like 8 members of the defense carrying their coordinator, Buddy Ryan, off the field. And supposedly that was controversial.
Well, I mean, it's because behind the scenes, Dick and Ryan were going head to head with each other.
I didn't know that.
You know, they were. It was kind of like oil and water with those two.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because one's getting more credit than the other.
A little bit, but Dick had drafted William Perry and
from Georgia, right?
Yeah, and Buddy Ryan did not want William Perry on the team.
Oh,
no, he thought he was a fat toad of lard.
He was a nose tackle. Yeah. He was a true nose like Pat Williams.
Yeah, just Buddy had just this disdain about things. Kevin Butler tells the story because Kevin Butler also kicked for Georgia.
Butthead.
And he got drafted, and he's at Lake Forest. And he's walked through hell. Here comes Buddy Ryan, and someone got, hey, this is Kevin Butler, our new kicker. Oh, Buddy, you're a 6th-round pick, right? Yeah, wasted draft pick. And he walks on.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's some Zimmer-like stuff there.
They bumped heads on some things.
Yeah.
And it was a foregone conclusion that Buddy was going to move on to get a head coaching job somewhere. And he ended up going to Philadelphia.
Eagles. All right, so the real controversy from that Super Bowl, though, correct me if I'm wrong, Walter Payton is one of the 2 or 3 best running backs in the history of the NFL. Sweetness, though, God rest his soul. They let Refrigerator Perry, a defensive tackle, run in a touchdown, and Walter Payton didn't get a touchdown in the Super Bowl. How well did that go over?
Everybody feels bad about that. Hallis feels bad about it.
Wow.
Ditka feels bad.
Papa Bear Hallis?
The fans feel bad. The McCaskies feel bad. Everybody feels bad. Everybody felt bad about that. That Sweetness should have got a chance to get a carry and score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. So, and Ditka's gone on the record saying that's one of the things he regrets the most about the Super Bowl win.
Wow.
Not giving Walter a chance to carry the ball in. So
Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, at Lavelle Neal via
Peter
Twitter.
Brock started 15 games for the Rams that year.
Yeah, I think, and
Jeff Kemp was apparently the backup.
Jeff Kemp's father, Jack, major politician, like
he played football too, though.
State senator in California or something like that.
I think Jack was a quarterback too, right?
Yeah, Jack Kemp was a quarterback too.
Yeah.
Down memory lane we go. All right, we'll mix in some other stuff with Lavelle Neal III after this.
You're listening live to PN.
Elite, beautiful game minds. Who beats France? Who beats France with Mbappe doing what Mbappe did yesterday? What a treat. If you're a sports snob, USA in, USA out. This Mbappe, with his footwork in tight quarters, honestly, if there's ever, Maradona, we know all the names. If there's ever been better than when this guy gets, because I've watched France play 3 times now. So my man will have some go through the motions to him because he's conserving energy for big moments, things like that. I've now seen it twice. You piss off Mbappe, it's over. It is over. You cannot stop that guy. Who beats France?
France was my pick to win it going into the tournament.
Really went out on a limb there.
Unstoppable offense. I give mad props to Argentina. They're the defending champions until they're dethroned. Respect to England. They've got a damn good roster. And let's see how they respond after their thrilling victory over Mexico. And, props to Spain. Lamine Yamal. I don't know if Nico Williams is playing. I think he's banged up or he's limited or something. But France has got too much attacking power. You talk about Mbappe, but they also have Dembele in the right wing and have Olise in the middle. And those guys can score as well. I believe they're like...
It's a dream team.
Yeah, it's all 3 of them are like top 10 in scoring in the World Cup or something like that. And you talked about Mbappe kind of moving around slow at times. The great ones do that.
Yeah.
Because the great ones they're just like a snake in the grass. They're kind of seeing how things are playing out, and they're going to find something that they're going to focus on, and then they're going to pounce. Mm-hmm. You watch Norway and Erling Haaland. All right. Haaland looks like he's just jogging around, like not doing anything in the middle of the field. And then all of a sudden,
he looks bored.
He's 3 steps, takes 3 steps. All of a sudden, he's in the box. All of a sudden, it's off his foot. All of a sudden, goal. Watch Argentina and Messi and how they play around Messi. Mm-hmm. They're like, where's Messi?
Yeah.
Where's Messi? The ball's in the corner. Where's Messi?
Yeah.
The ball's in the ball. Where's Messi? All of a sudden, Messi enters the chat. Ball scores.
Wow.
Because they read the game. They read spacing. They know the capabilities of their teammates. And they know that if I move at this point, this is going to shift the defense to this, and this guy's going to put the ball here.
Wow.
And I'm going to get it on my left foot.
That's the strategic nature of the beautiful game.
Yeah.
People just refuse to acknowledge, and it fascinates me.
Yeah, well, that's people talk a lot about athleticism. Athleticism really matters, but it's that sort of stuff that Lavelle's talking about from a technical skill standpoint.
There's acumen that's required to operate the high level there.
Massively. Yeah. Frankly, the other favorite into the tournament, they won't get to a final. It'll be Spain and Belgium. Whoever wins today, that's who plays France. And sadly, the only way that you can beat France is by being that boring Spain team that you watched the other day, PA. Because if you give them the ball, they will find their way through. And Spain's about the only team that truly would play 90 minutes of keep away. It'd be the most boring game of your freaking life.
That's a strategic approach by them?
Yeah, Spain, it's almost cultural with their game.
Yeah.
It's just heavy possession, slow and plodding
lots
possession.
Of touches.
Tons of touches, 1,000 passes, and then, Lamine Yamal. Ferran Torres.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy, I can't even pronounce his last name, who leads them in goals.
Who's the guy with the curly hair? What's his name?
Yeah,
Victor Oladipo?
No.
No, but France is truly a dream team, man. I mean, and it's kind of, Messi's swan song, most likely. England really as close to being on the cusp as they've ever been. And all those are really cool storylines. The Brits who are at Brits on the bowling green rooting for Harry Kane. It might be all for naught because of this absolute stone cold freight train in the French right now.
When is England? And if it happened, I apologize. England, Norway. When is
tomorrow?
That? Oh, that's tomorrow.
Yeah. So who's
favored in that game?
You have Spain and Belgium today, and then you got the other two tomorrow.
England.
Yeah, England should be favored to win.
No ways.
So I don't want to forget this. Sorry to clip. My man for England. I even saw when it took place. Olakun or the guy he got suspended 2 games.
Jarrell Quansah.
Yes.
So a 2-game suspension at this portion of the equation? Are you kidding me?
The hilarious part
death sentence for him in this tournament. It sucks.
The hilarious thing was England was prepared to appeal. They're going to appeal their original card.
Why not? After what the White House did.
So people's like,
let's send the Whig Party after everybody.
Here's our appeal, your appeal, an extra game. Bam. I was like, damn, that's just harsh.
No, I think it's harsh. The ball brought his leg up. He's going spikes out, and it catches him. And so I understand why they gave him 2 games, but
okay.
That's why in the future, I think you need to reveal the cards. You punish people twice. You yank them from the game. That's punishment 1, and then the ensuing ban is punishment number 2. That second one needs to be reviewable, appealable, and workable in the future.
Well, it's just when the games get bigger and these moments get bigger and these decisions are going to have massive weight. I still feel bad for Egypt because their player got kicked in the box and there was nothing called, and Argentina storms on the field and scores, and they're mad because when they stormed down the field and scored, there was a foul like 20 seconds earlier that they waited 20 seconds to blow the whistle on.
Well, they still had a 2-0 lead.
That's true.
79th minute.
True.
They needed to close that down.
You guys are elite soccer minds. I've never heard of this guy. I think you guys will both nail it. Who is widely considered the greatest Spain soccer player in the history of Spain?
Ooh. Is it Xavi?
Eusebio? No, that's Portugal.
Initials AI.
Iniesta?
Oh, Iniesta. Yeah.
Iniesta. Yes.
Who's Andres Iniesta?
Ball-headed
one of the greatest midfielders.
About 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looks like somebody, is that guy like a third shift machinist?
Yeah.
But he is one of the most amazing soccer players that have ever lived.
According to Sports Illustrated, second would be Xavi.
Xavi.
Third would be Iker Casillas.
Goalkeeper. One of the best ever.
Yeah,
man, you guys got that.
Iker's the man.
Okay, hold on. The Twins have won 7 of the last 8 series. I know you were at the game yesterday, but yesterday had to frustrate the manager. He told 9 to noon when Shelty was on yesterday, the keys to beating Gavin Williams is lay off the sweeper. You lay off the sweeper, you make him a 5 and fly. I watched. They didn't lay off the sweeper, and I think he had 11 strikeouts. What was it like at the ballpark yesterday?
Oh, he was unhittable. That sweeper of his, that's a hard sweeper.
Yeah.
To me, it's more like a slider because it's coming in at 88 miles an hour. 89.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So sleeper's a little bit slower than that, but that thing moves like just a nasty slider.
Right.
And he dominated early.
It starts at 3 o'clock and ends at like 7 o'clock.
Yeah, it's tough because the Twins have been. The quality of their at-bats this year has been very impressive to me. That's been like one of their calling cards. And they've been great about making adjustments after seeing the pitcher the first time through the order. They do a good job of communicating with each other and checking in between at-bats about what's going on with that pitcher and what the pitch shapes are and things like that. So they've been good about making adjustments and have battling at-bats. And they didn't get going into the 5th inning. And it's too bad because they loaded the bases in that inning. And they only scored, I think, 1. And that was the inning they should have done more damage. I think there was like a tapper in the infield, led to a forced play at home. I think that was Alan Jackson who hit it. The ball that Royce Lewis hit, I wish it would have been a homer, but he did hit a homer later in the game.
Yep.
But, yeah, that pitcher was good, man. But I think it's encouraging that Bailey Ober came off the injured list and pitches as effectively as he did. He's only throwing 89 miles an hour, which he's at like the no room for error stage here because his changeup comes in at about 82, 83 miles an hour, and And usually you want 6 miles is like the least amount of spread.
You want 10, right?
If you can get to 10, it's great. You can get to 8, you're fine.
Yeah.
You know, 6 is like the least amount of spread you want between your fastball and your changeup. But his other stuff, his sweeper was really effective. You know, so and Bailey knows how to pitch, man. He knows how to pitch. He is a crafty veteran righty that knows how to work the corners and work hitters and is prepared. And as long as he's healthy, that's a good development for the Twins rotation, because as much as we talk about they need bullpen help, it also helps when the pitchers are going 6 innings and limiting how many outs the bullpen has to get on a daily basis.
You know, there is a question involving the Minnesota Twins you actually can ask with a straight face approaching the All-Star break. What chance do you give the Twins of winning the division?
Winning the division? It's possible. I mean, Detroit was dead in the water. They're playing better. White Sox have been the surprise team of the league, the division.
They just got Murakami back today.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Twins are a flawed team in a flawed American League. You know, let's not sugarcoat that, is that this team's got issues. Defensively, their infield's not that great. They're trying out Luke Keisha in the outfield. So far, the results have been positive. Royce is making the adjustment to being a first baseman, but there's still some other stuff there. And when Tristan Gray's at short, you get worried about the ball being hit to him. And, of course, the bullpen, the holes in the bullpen, and the injuries to the rotation. You know, if Mick Abel and David Festa were healthy, you know, this whole bit would look so much different, you know. But so are a lot of teams are flawed. So the rules say that the American League has to produce teams to play in the postseason tournament. So if the Twins can be one of those, more power to them, man.
Right. So I'm guessing you're not in the camp that believes when the New York Yankees get Aaron Judge back that they're just going to roll by Tampa Bay, win the East, and be a factor in the postseason.
They just had a 3-game stretch in which they struck out 17 times, and then got shut out 3-0.
They got struck out 17 times, 2 consecutive games?
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
No. No.
17 times?
Just this happened in the last 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah, the Yankees are scuffling, man. They've got injuries. You know, Stanton is on the, you know, we used to, who was it? Was it, Charts used to call it the Todd Heap Memorial Injury Report. It should be called the Giancarlo Stanton Memorial Injury Report.
Right.
Because he's always on it for something. You know?
This Ben Rice they have, he's good, isn't he?
Bellinger's had a good year, too.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to the All-Star game.
Grisham's okay.
So, but, you know, waiting for some of their pitchers to get healthy, too. You know, so,
right.
The trade deadline is going to be interesting because I think a lot of teams are going to be, well, we're only like 3 games out, you know. So there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to want to buy. Who are going to be the sellers? That's going to be a big question here. So as of now, I think the Twins are buying. I think you really
they're buying.
You have to really wait until the week before the trade deadline before you really get definitive of what your actions are going to be, because you're a 5-game losing streak away from this all getting 6s and 7s, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I like how you put that.
But as of now, you know, I know they want to buy. I talked to someone yesterday or today.
Yeah.
We want to be buyers. I do think it's going to be intriguing what they do with Ryan Jeffers, because regardless if they're a buyer or a seller, they may trade Jeffers anyway, just because he's going to go to free agency. He's not coming back. And if he can get you a decent reliever, and you have to consider it, Victor Caratini was signed with Jeffers' departure in mind. And after that horrid start at the plate, he's actually hit the ball better over the last 6 weeks. So I think they're at the point where they're comfortable with Caratini as it is. But I expect Ryan Jeffers to be in the lineup tonight. I think he's going to get activated after his wrist surgery. I think he's going to be playing. So I'm curious to see how the Twins are going to handle this 3-catcher bit with him and Alan Jackson right now, because I think they're going to send down outfielder Kyler Fedko to make room for Jeffers. So I don't know. The release may have been already sent out. I don't know, because I've been sitting here. But that's what I'm expecting when I get to the ballpark today.
My man, elite seeing you. Have a great weekend, all right?
You too, friend.
Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune. Final segment, the postgame, courtesy of Owl Roofing, is next.
You're listening live to Paul Allen at 9 to noon on iHeartRadio and FM 100.
Final segment, 9 to noon. It's a quickie. It's the post game, and it's always brought to you by Owl Roofing. You know, what did we learn today? You can go back and hear Kevin O'Connell, some Vikes Bites with Dan Patrick, Mellow trade. Can that happen at any point in time? But, you know, I'd say my favorite part of the show today is just the listeners.
From the land of lakes to correcting past mistakes.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, you found one.
The talkback machine has been hot today.
Hey guys, James from Burgess.
Hey.
How about from glazed hams to Botox gams?
Ooh, how about that? I had to look and make sure that you can Botox your legs. Apparently that's a thing. I didn't know that.
Was it Botox yams? Is that what he said?
Gams.
Oh, gams. My bad.
Hey, PA and Nordo, Tim from Andover.
Hey.
How about for the announcer with 3 chins, let's get a Super Bowl win. Thanks, guys.
Fox. Loving it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Hey guys, Jason and Brainerd.
Hey.
How about from 9 and 8 to the Golden Gate?
What
about Golden State?
To the Golden State.
Okay.
From 9 and 8 to the Golden State. Minnesota Vikings football is on the air.
PA and Nordo, what up?
What up?
From sympathy cards to Hollywood Boulevard.
Don't mind it a lick.
Out of block.
Well, you got some work to do here, don't you, to get to parse that thing down?
Not really. Big voice guy's got a lot of work.
Hey, PA. Hey, Nordo. Tyler from Alexandria.
Hey.
From the gritty dance to fake implants.
Lots of fake implants.
Hey, Kyle from Egan.
Big fat lips.
From and he's loose to sipping gin and juice.
Ooh.
And he's loose!
So just super thankful today for all the support and effort given to the Talkback Machine Super Bowl slogans. Hopefully it's not for naught.
Thank you very much for listening to the Friday Football Feast at FM 100.3 KFAN. He's Nordo. I'm Paul Allen. The program is next. May God bless you and all of your families. Have a wonderful day and a better weekend. Talk soon.
9 to noon.
Scratching and surviving.
The game is over.
This is an old-fashioned ass kicking right here.
Personal foul. Clipping.
I know, right?
If it's good news or money, leave a message.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
From the 1-800